Welcome to tonight's prompt poetry stream. I'm going to be working on some prompts from chat and making some poems out of them. I've got one I'm started on now, and I can go ahead and read a couple of them from my plane ride down here to the States. So I hope you have fun. Hope it's going to be a good night. I'll be streaming a little bit longer than normal today, so we should have a pretty good video. Hey, how's it going? Almedy Blight? Is that how you say that? Hope you're having a good night. Hey, Lynette. How's it going? Not too bad, Blight. I'm just hanging out, doing some prompt poems. I just got off an airplane a little while ago, so kind of unwinding, hoping to have a little bit longer stream than normal for me. And I unwind by writing and looking forward to any prompts that come up from chat. If you have any prompts that you want to throw into chat, I will take about 10-15 minutes and try to make a poem out of them. Lynette, how did things, you don't have to share anything that you don't want to share with me, but even a vague how things are going compared to what you were talking about last time you were in chat would be good to know. I've still got a little notation in my notebook about Eddie, so been thinking about you guys. I hope everything turned out okay. That's awesome. That's good to hear. I'm very happy to hear that. It's good to see you again, too. Jason Kelly be twinning Kelsey. I don't know if I know who that is, but judging by the rest of the interaction there, I'll take it as a compliment. Thank you very much. Jason Kelsey. I am blanking on that name. Apologies if that's hard to believe. I'm trying to think of who that is, but nothing is coming to mind. But I'm not very good. Hey, LDQA, good to see you. I'm not very good with famous names. If it is somebody well known that I should probably know who it is, I'm not very good with that as a baseline. Obscure writers and Magic players, very good at, but people in the mainstream, not it. How's it going, Beast? Good to see ya. I did take a flight today. I am down in the real world in the continental United States now. I'm no longer in Alaska. Oh, I took off from home, I think 5 hours ago, 6 hours ago, something like that. When I got to the airport, I walked to the hotel, and I'm here now. Turned on the stream, and I'm planning on doing this for much longer than the last couple, so I'm planning on leaving this on probably 3 or 4 hours to do prompt poems and just hang out and be chatty until I go to bed. Thank you very much. I'm glad I made it safe too. There were more children on my flight than I think I've ever seen on an airplane before, so we made it. Noise canceling headphones are lifesavers. But how's your night going, LDQ? It's good to see you. I'm glad you could make it again. Let's see, who else did I miss? Oh, excuse me. Okay, I'm caught up. Chat was being weird, so I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anybody. I have a pretty short list of prompts to work off of, so if you have any prompts, feel free to post them in chat. Oh, I'm skipping yard work this weekend to do this trip. I need to get my backyard finished. I spent most of all last Sunday out in the backyard cleaning up a winter's worth of clutter and mess, grass clippings, leaves, dog waste, all kinds of stuff. This weekend, I'm not doing any yard work. I'm doing something fun. Yard work can be fun, very rewarding. But if I have the choice between playing a game that I enjoy and doing yard work, I know which one I'll pick most often. But the yard work does need to get done. It'll be a next weekend. Are you getting things ready to plant for this year? We're still doing cleanup from winter. Not sure where the rest of the world is at springtime wise. I got off the plane and there's green grass and leaves already on the trees here, and it's insane. Blows my mind. Places with actual seasons. They're not real. That's stuff from the TV. Yeah, winter cleanup. That makes sense. That's cool. That is very rewarding. I hauled a whole truckload of bags to the dump after last weekend, and it's a very nice, clean slate feeling when everything is said and done. Oof. I'm still jittery, probably jet lagged from, well, I'm not jet lagged yet, but definitely jittery from travel. I get very anxious before flying, so I'm trying to settle. I can feel myself like still kind of, yeah, nerves. Before last February, I had never left Alaska recreationally. I'd flown out for work a couple of times, but I had never actually spent time out of the state voluntarily. Last February, I went on my first vacation as an adult, and since then I've flown out of state several times, and it's been a lot of fun. But Hey, Greg, how's it going? Good to see you. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good night, good evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you're at. Good. That's good to hear. Well, thank you for stopping by. If you have any poetry prompts or would like to have a poem written about something specific, feel free to post it in chat. I'm working on one of my own right now, but I have a little short list to work off of, and most of what I'll be writing will come from chat, hopefully. That's a good goal. I don't remember most of my last birthday. We had a huge party at my house, and I don't do birthday parties. My other half planned this big surprise party before being really aware of how much I didn't like parties, so we ended up having people over, and I knew about it ahead of time. We talked about it and said it was fine, everything is cool. And then there were so many people at my house, and I get very uncomfortable in large crowds like that, even at home and even with my friends. So I spent most of it just getting disconnected as soon as I could. Started at like, I don't know, when I got up 9 a.m. and drank until the last person left my house, like close to midnight the coming night. If it wasn't after that, I don't even remember now. And I definitely didn't remember then. But it's a good goal. I'm looking forward to my next birthday, so I relate to that a little bit. Looking forward to spending it sober. Just this last Christmas was my first Christmas sober since I turned 21, and that was a different sensation. There were a lot of emotions built up around Christmas for me that I hadn't allowed myself to experience as an adult, and it was rewarding, but also just a lot of processing for sure. Hey, Trevor, how's it going? Good to see you. Good to see you. I hope you're having a good night. You're welcome, Greg. Thank you so much for that kindness. That kind of comment is very, very special to me, because it's not my prerogative to tell anyone they're doing anything wrong. It's just to let them know that they're not alone if they do take that path of recovery or they do want to stop. It's not anything to be ashamed of. I don't know what that means, Betty, but if you're going to spam chat, you're going to get a timeout in short order here. Appreciate the interaction, but that kind of stuff is not cool. Time you out. Hey, Winston, how's it going? I hope you're having a good night. Hey, Hank, thank you for the kindness. That means a lot. Hey, Izzy. You made it. I know it's a little bit later. We are very deep into it's time to become a potato time. But thanks for stopping by. Good to see you. Prompt. Something about having confidence in what you do, from getting dressed to finishing a task. Okay, I like that prompt. Having confidence. In no matter how small the task is, having confidence in it. Okay. I've got that one on the list. Well, I appreciate you popping in, Izzy. It's good to see you. I'll try not to be too loud if anybody wants to leave me on in the background for lurk views. I do appreciate it. I'm actually very surprised with the watch time and stuff that comes out of these live streams. It's been very rewarding just to see people interact and be here, and it's nice getting to talk to everybody. It's a cool feeling for sure. Oh, I don't know why you're saying your English is off, is he? I think that makes sense, popping in and showing some love. Hey, I appreciate it, Winston. Thumbs up would be very cool. Well, either way, interaction is interaction. I'm not actually sure. I see I have a little icon at the top of my screen with the number of viewers and then people liking it. There we go. There's a thumb up. I just had one tick in. Thumbs up, thumbs down, it's all the same. Interaction is interaction, and if people don't like what I'm doing, that's fine. Feel free to thumbs down it. I like what I'm doing, and I'm going to keep doing it. Oh, awesome. That's good to know, the 3 little dots. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Blight says, I like your beanie. Just saw you and want to stop by and say hi. I appreciate you stopping in. It's good to see you. Phyrexians all the way. Yeah, this is my hat that I wear when I'm going to play Magic. It's the only one I wear really consistently besides the Fallout one, and I wear the Fallout hat every day. Like, just about every day. Oh, I appreciate the lurk. That'll help a lot. The 3 little dots mean my crazy life. I'm not sure I understand that, Winston, but life can get a little crazy. Phyrexian Infiltrator. Let's see. Infiltrator is that the shadow creature? No. I can theme Phyrexian so it's not strictly for Magic though. We will make it into infection, infiltration. We'll make it. If you don't mind, I'm taking a little bit of a liberty with the prompt, just so it appeals to more folks. Unblockable infect 1/1. It's a blighted agent. I think that's blighted agent is the blue and 1 unblockable 1/1. Sorry, I'm very easy to get distracted if you start talking about Magic cards, so I will try to focus on stream here. Yeah, there we go. No, you don't have to apologize at all. I appreciate it. I'm a nerd. Like I'm not ashamed of it. You don't have to apologize for it at all. I'm almost to the point of where I'm done with this prompt poem, and I'll be moving on to LDQA's Confidence. That was it. I've got 2 more lines of this one, and then I'll do a reading, and we'll move on to the next one. If you're just tuning in, I'm doing prompt poems, and if you want to throw a prompt into chat, I will add it to my list, and I'll write a short poem about it. My goal is to spend about 10 to 15 minutes per poem, and I've currently got 1 from chat in the queue. Thank you, Greg. That's awesome. If you need or want to reach out after your birthday or at any time, really, you can feel free to reach out to me by the email that's linked to my YouTube channel or in any of the comments on my shorts. I read every comment. So if you get into a spot where you really need someone to talk to or want someone to talk to, maybe just to vent, you're always free to reach out to me. I'm not a professional. I'm just somebody sharing my experience, but I will do my best to find an encouraging way to say something, or we can talk about difficulties and maybe a different light of anything you're going through. So good luck when you do hit your birthday and start that journey, and it's an awesome thing. It's a very rewarding experience. It has been for me. So you don't only have to reach out if you're having a hard time. I look forward to hearing about how your journey is going and wish you all the luck on it. I'll be here. Appreciate you. You're welcome, Greg. Thank you for being here. I see. I'm getting used to all of the new sounds. This is not anywhere I'm used to, and I've got road noise from the city just to the left, and there's a hallway just a little ways to the right, so people are coming through and moving by. I thought somebody was at my door, but they must have been going in across the hall. Oh, do I need a camper? Is that? I think that's the question. Do I need a camper? No, I don't need a new one right now. The one I have is paid for, and it's been pretty customized for what I need it to do. I've ripped out a lot of the functions and things that come with it to make it what I want it to be. So I'm not really going to be looking for a new one anytime soon. But oh, okay. I get it. Yeah. Fair enough. Okay, this one's done. This is heart-stopping moment or a heart-stopping scene in your life. Anonymous prompt. I think I've had a few moments in my life, like a romantic comedy record scratch. The world around you stops, sharper than a knife, peripherals burning away while you're holding the match. The thumping in your chest, pounding temples, nerves bundled tight. There they are, standing out from all the rest, and there goes your heart into fight or flight. Moments like these are forks in the road, decisions that can change the soundtrack of life, make the music into a moment all its own, forever immortalizing the second you met your wife. I took the theme of myself seeing someone for the first time, so that's where I went with it. Okay, I like the way that one came out. It's a little bit simple, but they're gonna be when I'm giving myself about 15 minutes. So let's see. This one is confidence, or having confidence in any task. And it's from LDQA, and the time on the live is 26, and we'll call it 27 minutes. 27. Thanks, Mayo Monkey. That's... Jesus. I love the internet sometimes. You guys are awesome. Hey, Tyson. How's your evening going? I don't know, Trevor. It comes with the territory, especially in stream. When I used to stream on Twitch, cool. Let's go ahead and get that one. Hey, Speedy Boy. Yep, different hat today. All right, Tyson, you are... Oh, shit. Whoops. I clicked the wrong comment. Speedy Boy, I accidentally clicked your comment when I was trying to do the one below you. Let's just get this dude out of here. There we go. Speedy Boy, I don't know if I ruined I don't know if you can still chat. I think I might have clicked the wrong button and I'm not seeing a way to undo it. I've put your message into a different style of text now, and there we go. Okay, it's all right. I think I hid your message on accident. I was trying to delete the dude who was talking about dosing children and then leaking the video of it. I did report that guy. YouTube, if you ever monitor live streams, Tyson Post goes into chats and talks about dosing children. You should probably ban that user. Oh man, say less, Speedy Boy. Standard moderator privileges have been applied to you. You are now a standard moderator for my channel. Yeah, I know what you mean, Trevor. The internet is a wild place to be. When I used to stream on Twitch, I had a gaming channel where I would stream myself playing Magic a lot, and I had one of my friends in there from when the time the stream started, and he was very good about modding and keeping people. He knew all of the ins and outs of it a lot better than I did. I didn't know any of the back end stuff, and I wasn't really trying to be a streamer. I was just turning my camera on and this is me playing stupid games. Come hang out with me, and had these big ambitions of making a ton of like I can quit my job, retirement goals, and it's like that's just not feasible for the common person. And then I got promoted in my real job, so I had to go to a location without real internet, and that just killed stream. Like, whatever. Twitch is dead. I think last time I was live was like 5 or 6 years ago. Izzy says ditto. Okay. Yeah, Speedy Boy, I don't know if it tracks how many timeouts, but usually what I've been doing, if people do crap like that, that's an auto report, remove, whatever, if you're talking about that kind of content. But if they're just coming in spamming chat or saying heinous things that are just not harming or threatening to anybody, I've just been doing 10-minute timeouts. To what Speedy Boy said. So about wanting to have the privilege of being a moderator. I call it a privilege. You guys would be helping me out a lot. That would be awesome. I didn't actually play Magic today. The event is tomorrow morning. I just flew down today, got a hotel room, so I don't have to worry about traveling the same day of. Yeah, you're a little ways ahead of me, Izzy. I think normally you're either 3 or 4 hours ahead of me when I'm in Alaska. But like right now, where I'm at, I'm on Pacific time now, so it's 7 o'clock for me right now. I still think you're probably 3 hours ahead. I don't know if it's 3 or 4 when I get to the Continental. Yeah, so you're 3 hours ahead. 4 hours normally when I'm at home. Let's see. What's new? What's exciting? I always feel like I'm zoning out when I start writing, and I'd like check chat. And when chat doesn't update for a while, I don't know if it's laggy for me or because every once in a while I'll get 17 messages in a row, and I think it's my phone connection most of the time. But I stayed up way too late last night. I was working on the cover of my next book, which I'm hoping to get released before the end of this year. Very happy with how that's going. But it's not the Whiskey and Woe at 40 Below that won the poll. I actually had another title idea that was in one of my other projects that I've had a lot easier time working on as far as content for. So the title of my next book is going to be Seeds Grow in the Dark. And as soon as I get my cover finalized and get a few of my alpha eyes on it, I'll post it on the channel and do a reveal or something. But I still have to work out some of the shading and some of the gradient, and I think right now I'm thinking about trying to make it very much akin to Rise, like that same style, gradient, pop of color, different picture obviously, but I really like the simplicity of that, and I like that even if it was across the room laying up against a shelf, if the cover was facing you, if I had Rise and this book, you'd be able to tell without even reading or seeing the title. You'd say, those two books look very similar. I'd like to walk over and they very clearly go together, even if they're not on the same theme, but it's very visually appealing to me to have that iconism. That's not the right word. That doesn't even sound right. I write words together for fun, and I cannot speak them most of the time. Oof. English is hard. Hey, Sean, how's it going? Yeah, English is definitely hard, is he? Oh, well, so I was hanging onto my pen, apparently. My next book's going to be a lot longer than Rise, Speedy Boy. It's Seeds Grow in the Dark is going to be a poetry collection that is not as focused as the content of Rise. It's going to be a lot more of my nature-themed poems. There's still some of my normal, like the correlation between mental health and growing and being low and growing, but it's about growth. That's the premise of it. So there still will be some of the themes that are present in Rise, especially in the later part of the book, where I'm talking about being kind to myself, learning to love yourself, growing from that darkness, rising up. So growing in the darkness, growing from the darkness is a very similar correlation to rising up. Other than a few of the poems, it'll be, for the majority, different. And I'm taking a lot more time and doing things correctly that I learned doing Rise, because Rise was my first book and my first real attempt at a book. So of course it's the first time. You learn a few things. You learn you did things wrong, you get your proofs, you see your copies. I was reading a book today on the plane. I brought one of my books with me and I left it in the seat of the plane I was in with a little note in the back of, if you found this, let me know where, with my email address and my YouTube channel on it. So if anybody finds it, that'll be really cool. There's a book out there in the wild for free. But I was reading it on the plane just to pass time, and I found a bunch of things and typos, and it's like, that's just not what that was supposed to say. And it still reads correctly. Like, I definitely see how it got missed in editing, because it reads that way, but it's not. When I was reading it in my head, I'm like a word ahead of where I'm actually reading, and I know what I'm about to say, and it wasn't that. I was like, what? Oh, man, there's like 4 spots where I'm missing a word or I use the wrong word, and it still reads, but it's definitely different. Also, that brought an idea to mind. What do you think of releasing numbered collections with each one having a different bunch of poems? Maybe they could follow a theme. Let's see if I'm understanding this correctly. What do you think of releasing numbered collections with each one having a different bunch of poems? Maybe they could follow a theme. So it would be the same releasing it as the same collection and just having different poems in different books, but them being part of the same collection. Am I understanding that correctly? Even the greatest authors of all time have imperfect writings. Perfection is a concept that relies totally on the concept of imperfection. Without one, the other could not be. It's very true. If you go looking hard enough, you will find what you're looking for. So if you start looking for imperfection, you will find it. I like that, Sean. That's a very good way of thinking. More like each book has different poems. A nature book with nature poems include next book can include poems about fears. Yeah, I like that idea. I actually sort my poems when I'm writing on my computer into I have a file on my desktop called unsorted poems, and whenever I write it, it goes in there. And then on my desktop right now, I have 3 folders for different book ideas that are all kind of on the same theme. And as I sort them, I have a night where I don't feel like writing or I want to do some behind the scenes stuff. I will open that unsorted poem folder and I'll start reading, figuring out if they get it, if they fit into any of my existing ideas or concepts for books, and then I'll put them in that folder. So it's kind of the same thing. Each book has its own theme that I've come up with, but that's a very long process before you get a collection that is large enough to put into a book. Rise will be my smallest publication because of the nature of the project and what I wanted for the book. I wanted it to be something that somebody could put in their pocket after a meeting. I wanted it to be something that was accessible and easy to get a hold of and easy to digest. I'd like the target density of my next publications to be between 60 and 80 poems in a book. And I think that I will eventually be able to do that, like you're saying, with different themes. But right now, I think each one of those folders, I just got to 50 in Seeds Grow in the Dark, and that's what I've started formatting and putting together. And I still need to do some writing in it, and I still need to get it together and do the editing, but I'm to the point of that now where I can start that process and feel like I'm not wasting my time putting it together and putting all the work into formatting and getting things, because I don't format until I'm ready to make it into a book. It's basically just a bunch of this on my computer, unformatted text documents, and I don't actually start that process until I'm ready to follow through with making it into a book. Yeah. Hey, Druid. Good to see you. I hope you're having a good night. I have been doing a lot of talking, and we are on 17 minutes into the confidence poem for LDQA. I am slacking. poem you wrote the other day would pair well with a painting. Are you talking about one of the prompt poems from last stream, is he? I think that comes up a lot, though. Druid said there were lyrics, or I think it wasn't just Druid. People were talking about how it sounds like song lyrics. I think Trevor was in here too when that was going on. Well, I hope you have a good dinner. Yeah, no, absolutely, sweetie. I'm more than happy to be transparent with my process. And I think that's why Rise is the way it is, like length and size wise. No worries. I hope that you enjoy dinner. I'll try to not be too loud. Needs to be a metal song. Oh, the Hopeful Dystopian? Is that the one we're talking about? That's cool. Sorry, LDQA, if you're still here, I'm still going. I'll chug along. Lurking. Okay, good. I was worried. Lithium seeds growing in the dark. Maybe fungus is related to. It's something that thrives in the dark and is intelligent and rapidly adapts. Very symbolic for those of us in recovery. Yeah. Fungus is really cool. Mycology is pretty neat. I know there's a large recovery community that delves into psilocybin and its effects. But it is very thematic. You mentioned the feel of pen on paper. I could hear it at one point, and yeah, it felt cathartic. Yeah. I don't think anything really compares to pen on paper when it comes to writing. The Notes app is cool and convenient, and you can write on the bus and write on the train, but it's not the same. I'll carry a notebook with me most of the time. Yeah, you can't not. I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that do not use the digital Notes app, but it is convenient and very necessary in the modern world. But I agree, organic writing is best. Oh, like the lyrics for your songs and stuff, Druid? You just do them off the dome? That's crazy. That's really cool. I have to write stuff down. Even my own poems, if I start reading them, I have to read them a lot to memorize them. That's why in my videos that I post on the channel, I'm reading out of my notebook because I'm worried about messing them up. So I know a lot of my videos that I post are just me like this in the book, and it's not very engaging with my eyes, but it's not really supposed to be the engaging part. The delivery and the words. Gotcha. Yeah. That's how I feel that way, Druid, about some of the, when I get negative thoughts in my head, I have to write them down to get them out of my head. If I don't put them somewhere else, I just keep regurgitating them back onto myself over and over again. It'll drive you insane. Okay, let's go. 5309. So 26 minutes on this poem, LDQA. A little bit longer than the target, but I got to talking and was dealing with chat. Let's see. Rumination. That is the correct word. There we go. Guitar does that to me. That's cool. The guitar is one instrument I would never actually learn how to play. I always wanted to, but I'm in school for music and business. The more I'm learning, the less I want to be part of it, to be honest. That's totally fair. Okay, this prompt poem came from LDQA. The prompt was confidence, even in the little things, or confidence in something, no matter how small. We wrote it in 26 minutes, and here it goes. People call it cocky when you're good. Better to show them with action. You didn't start with this talent. You had to learn that you could. And with every failure, your resolve gained traction. Little things that come easy were once monumental tasks. Everyone has to learn to just be the purest form of themselves, free of any masks. From tying your shoes to building a monument, I hope you know how brightly you beam. Your confidence, a currency that will never be spent, paying the world forward with your ever-glowing gleam. It's a little wordy in the end, but I do like the way it came out. I think I would definitely do a little bit of editing in post, but I'll take it for 20 minutes. Bro, how the F do you do this? I've been doing it for a long time. I enjoy it. It's fun. Practice. I guess, like, to not to be that guy when it comes to that stuff, but it's, I don't know, it's engaging, it's relaxing for me. It helps that I have your guys' support is awesome. Yeah, I could never do, well, I won't say I could never. I do have Fruity Loops installed, but that's about the extent of my information and knowledge about it. I can't play drums. Fruity Loops is about the closest I can get. Yeah, the mask. I feel that a lot, especially being in a work environment. You have to have this professional appearance. You have to have this workside manner with people, and being able to separate your personal life, especially with my situation going through substance abuse. You don't want anyone to know about that side of you, so you have this persona kind of that you put on. Well, I hope that you're having a safe walk, DJ. It's good to see you in chat. Always happy when you stop by. I am a signal maintainer, Druid. Oh man, that's probably making it into chat. Somebody is running water on the other side of the wall from me. There we go. But I'm a signal maintainer or low voltage electrician, depending on trade. But I work for Alaska Railroad, and I'm responsible for maintaining safety sensitive equipment, railroad crossings, wayside detectors, making sure that they're maintained and tested, working correctly. It's my job to make sure all the lights work, make sure the gates come down and protect traffic, make sure all that stuff's working the way it's supposed to. So maintenance tech, inspector, depending on the day. Yeah, Sean, that happens. Good, DJ. Glad that you made it home. But I'm gonna hunt for my phone charger so I can get my phone plugged in because it's dying from that plane ride, but shouldn't take me more than a couple of minutes. Quality analyst, that's cool. But I am ready for the next prompt poem. If anyone has anything they want to come up with, I'll probably still be in frame. I'm just going to grab my bag right there and grab my phone charger. But if not, I have one that I can work on. Yeah, Trevor, the main hurdle that I have with my position is the weather. Like in the wintertime, maintaining battery banks and low, like just 12 volt systems at 40 below, 50 below is hard. Things break, nothing works correctly, batteries go dead. Let's see. Of course, I got the one hotel that does not have a USB thing part of the outlet. Oh, that was loud. I'm sorry about that, everybody. Toxoplasmosis? You'll have to tell me what that word means. It sounds like a blood disease. That's good. Oh, come on. There we go. What is that shirt? This is a Bosch and Roll Magic the Gathering sponsored shirt. It's his Coalesce Apparel collaboration artwork. He is a Magic creator. He does Eternal Magic on YouTube. His channel is called Blush and Roll, and he's one of the content creators that I watch and support. Let's see. Moses. What did I miss? No, it's supposed to be a take on Indiana Jones, but these are all different magic card arts. So this Three Spheres is from a magic card art. This is a magic card art. This one, this is a different one, and then this is a different one. All cards that he has played in tournaments and kind of is well known for. But I don't buy new shirts very often, and if it's not a work shirt, I usually don't wear them very much because I don't own very many that aren't goofy. So like I own like 12 white t-shirts, 1 pink t-shirt, and then 5 or 6 like printed like the couple raccoon shirts, the Donkey Kong shirt, and this one. But there's probably a couple more in there that I'm forgetting about. But okay. I scrolled up, but I did not see what toxoplasmosis is. Is that a poetry prompt? Is that something that I'm supposed to write about? I will have to know what it is to write about it, or I can just write it as a word and not know what it is and see how the poem comes out. Sounds like blood disease to me, but that's just a guess. I'll put it on my list. A brain parasite. A brain parasite that's not very harmful. Okay. So like social media? It affects your behavior through making you more impulsive. Yeah, like social media. Okay. Brain parasite. Impulsive. Hey, Pizza Dave. Good to see you. Good to see you. Huh. You learn something every day. DJ, you got a new tattoo today, and you said you were out drinking while you walked to Fred Meyer's or Kroger. I don't know if your tattoo artist is being very kind to you if they don't tell you, but you probably shouldn't drink right after you get inked. But okay, I will trust that you are being safe. You said you made it home safe. You're out walking around. You were out walking around, and your tattoo was a while ago. So, okay. So I forgot that. I don't know how to say it. Random letters and numbers was here earlier and suggested infection or an infiltration, brain parasite. Impulsive is the other one. We did having confidence. We've done the Legos. We did heart-stopping moment, and we did silent battles. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to use Brain Parasite and not... I'm not Harry Mack. I can't go off the dome like that. Let's see. What was that word? Toxoplasmosis. We'll put that in parentheses. Because chat is wild. This one comes to us from Solus Druid. And we're going to start this one at 65 minutes into the stream. Oh, I'm sorry, 66 minutes. Let's see where we end up. Sorry to make you work, but you have it in you, so I'm not too mad about it. Yeah, I like the challenge. Do I know when I'm going to live stream next? I'm going to try and start live streaming Mondays for sure, and then Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on the week, and Thursday and Friday. They won't always be this long, but I'm going to try to start streaming during the weekdays. More likely than not, it'll be Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and I'll have Wednesday off to do a poem video for the channel. I think rather than trying to pump out my video poems on the channel Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to start doing live stream content and just hang out and write, because these prompt poems are really fun. I enjoy them a lot, and now that I know I can do them from the camper at home, that's something that I very much enjoy. It gives me something to do after work that's not video games. I'm not looking at a screen. I'm kind of looking at a screen, but I'm not really in my brain. It's the same but different. That makes sense. I swear. I have a beard and a mohawk. I haven't spiked my hair up into a mohawk in a long time. It's not really a man bun. I don't wear it up very often, but it is pretty long right now. It could be a man bun, but ideally it would be braided, but I don't know how to do that. But yeah, that makes sense. Music Music and mohawk, that goes together, Druid. That makes perfect sense. It should be listed on my channel page, DJ, but it's bygpoetry, all one word, @gmail.com. I would... Yeah, it should be posted on the channel page. There might be a little tab under my About that says View Contact Info. It should be in there. Of the eyebrows, that's not one I get very often. The eyelashes are usually what people are jealous of, because they're just this way. They're very big. I will not. Not in bio. Can you type it? It should be in there. It's on the channel page. I've had people email me before, so I know it's posted. If I start getting weird spams, I'll know where they're coming from. No, that's just me being a turd. That's not anything for you. How about this? Will this work? Is this legible, or is this backwards for you? My handwriting is atrocious. That's an @ symbol. Here, let's try this again, actually. I just made myself self-conscious. Wow. See what happens when you try. There. It's bygpoetry@gmail.com. I also have chicken scratch when I'm doing my own shorthand writing. It's kind of nuts. Cool. All right. Appreciate that, Drew. My friend in Army was from Anchorage. Oh, cool. I lived in Anchorage for about a year, and before I moved up into where I'm at now, out of Fairbanks and Denali. How do I afford Alaska? I don't know it. I don't know it from anywhere else. I've lived there my entire life. The price of things in Alaska is just my baseline for things. I think it's comparative. I mean, it's comparative. There are places in Alaska where things are absolutely heinous. There are places in Alaska where you'll spend $38 on a gallon of milk. those groceries get flown in by plane, and the people that live there buy it because it's what's there. Where I'm at is more like a regular grocery store. I mean, gallon of milk is $3.50, $4. Eggs are $3 a dozen. Groceries are pretty reasonable, right? But there are places in Alaska where it is insane. Yeah. Why is it normal price where I am? The places where groceries are more expensive are places where there's no road system and the groceries have to be flown. They just put all of that cost of the shipping onto the purchaser. And I don't know if the grocery stores are privately owned or if there's some kind of a corporation ring around it. I'm not actually sure why the groceries are so expensive up there, but I used to live in Salcha and the North Pole, but that was about 30 years ago. Well, that's a long time ago, but that's still some of the prettiest places. I grew up in Delta Junction, just a little ways down from Salcha, and then moved to Seward and graduated from Seward. Moved back to Anchorage, or moved to Anchorage, and then back to Delta Junction, to Fairbanks, and to Esther, back to Fairbanks, Healy, kind of lived all over. Fairbanks is in the dead center of Alaska. So I don't know the mileage away from Russia, but it is the interior Alaska. Yeah. Is it Weisinger or is it all one word? I don't want to pronounce it incorrectly and come off as being rude, so I figured I would just ask. I don't know what that means. Have I been to mainland? Like, next year my music studio will be done. That's awesome. I think it would be so cool to have a dedicated recording space like that. Yeah, lower 48. Yes, I'm in the lower 48 right now. I flew out of Alaska today, and I'm in the lower 48 at the moment. And I fly back to Alaska on Sunday. So I'm down here for tomorrow, and then I fly home Sunday morning. I am in the lower 48. Well, I know it's pretty big down here, but specifically I'm on Pacific time. I'm in Washington. Weisinger, okay. The 3 from my family. That's awesome. Very cool. Yeah, I'm in Washington right now. Oh man, it's 12 minutes and I'm not done with this. I'm slacking. I'm getting too busy chatting. I feel, whenever I talk, I want to lean back because I lean in to write and then I look up and I realize how close I am to my phone and I want to be back here. It looks like I'm trying to get all up in your business. I'm just trying to help produce and have a space, not create too much. I think that's a reasonable goal, especially if you're having qualms about getting into the industry, like you were talking about. The more you learn about it, the more you get into it, the less you having that self-realization about yourself and your ambitions. I think that's a good thing. That's very cool, very admirable. Oh, cool, Trevor. Yeah, I'm in your neck of the woods. If you're close by, you should check out Pike Place. Well, I am in Seattle. I went up the Needle the last time I was here. That was last February. And I think the most recent time, we didn't really do anything the last time I was in Seattle. But time before last, I went up the Needle. I've got them backwards here. Have you been to the South? The farthest south I've been is Kansas City, Missouri. Not really south as far as south goes. Very south, according to me, but not exactly south as far as the U.S. is concerned. Oh, you don't have to apologize, Izzy. That's okay. That's south, in my opinion. Okay. Well, in that case, yes, I have. I've been to Kansas City. I was born in Washington, was only there for a few months before we went overseas. I'll leave you in the background. Thanks, Izzy. I appreciate that. Arkansas and Mississippi, the countryest places I've been. Yeah, I think that tracks. We've got a few places like that in Alaska that if you say you're from southern Alaska, there's that inflection. And I don't know why exactly that joke has started. I know it's a American stereotype, like the southern accent, but there's a couple places in Alaska that get treated differently because of that. It's like, oh, you're from southern Alaska. Did I notice a difference when I went to Kansas City? Like in the people? Uh, not not really. I was in Kansas City for work, and I went from the hotel to the training center to the hotel. I wasn't there doing any kind of leisure activity, so my experience with Kansas City people is limited to the two instructors at the training center and the hotel front desk person. Like I didn't go out and meet or socialize with people in Kansas City. Real question, not to sound dumb, since Alaska used to be Russia, how come you guys aren't Russian or speak Russian? We have a very large um, Russian population in Alaska. There are communities in Alaska that have more Russian speakers and more Russian people than um, I don't know the correct terminology, and this is the internet, and I'm being recorded, so I don't want to mess anything up as far as correct ways to say things. But we have a very large population of European peoples in Alaska. I've worked alongside Russian speakers and have never learned the language, never picked up on it, but I went to school with Russian kids. Have worked alongside Russian people, like I said, and it's a part of the history of Alaska. But I don't know if there is a correct answer to why don't we speak Russian. And I'm not saying that to make you sound dumb. That's not what I'm inflecting at all there. I'm just not sure what the correct way for me to respond to it is, because I don't actually know the minute differences and ways to approach it and speak about it. So. I don't know your lifestyle or what you have allowances for, DJ, but if you ever want to come up here and see it, we have a very large influx of seasonal work. You can come up and work for a summer season, where a lot of our economy is tourism based. A lot of that comes with housing or attached perks, and you could see Alaska and make some money along the way. I don't know your situation, like I said, but if you do want to see it, that option does exist. We have a very large summer boom of work and housing and all that stuff that comes every year. And I will say, almost everyone I've ever met that comes up here to work wants to move here and does end up either coming back year after year after year after year, or just moving up indefinitely. The permanent fund dividend is still a thing. We still get it. But we file for it the beginning of the year, and then you get it in October. Kind of the opposite of tax season. Oh yeah, it's not a secret. I think it's out on Google. It's a different amount every year. It's income based for whatever the profit margins of the companies were, so it changes every year. It's not a set amount. The biggest it's ever been since I've been alive was, I think it was like $3,200. But it's not a monthly thing either. It's a once a year. Like, you apply for it at New Year's and you get it in October as a one-time payment, and it helps a lot of families, and a lot of people up here use it for their heating fuel for the winter. No, it's not a monthly thing. Not the PFD. Like that's the oil pipeline money that you're talking about. It's called the permanent fund dividend, and it's not a monthly payment at all. It comes out once a year as a lump sum. Okay, Solus Druid. This one got a little dark, but it's also, I don't know how it came out. Let's see, we're at 90 minutes. So we'll go from 66 to 90. Oof. But I went back. Sorry, I had to scroll up. I missed something. I went back to NY 7 years after I left on a work contract. People are just weird no matter what. The staff acted like I was an alien. Nope, just revisiting stuff. Yeah. I get that way going back home, even in Alaska. Do any lower mainland get that close to Alaska, like northern Washington? The biggest difference for me, the closest I've seen landscape-wise is probably Colorado, just for the mountains. Like when I visit my family in North Dakota and Minnesota, the flatland, it does not compute. Oh, no, sorry. I don't know anything about the other states as far as that stuff goes. So obviously I would set up you having the PA rights. IU work needs shared, man. I must have missed something, Druid. I'm sorry. I scrolled up and I thought I was on the same page, but I missed something. Hey, Irene. Colorado is lovely. Okay. This is the toxoplasmosis, or brain parasite, poem prompt from Soulless Druid. Sickness wears many hats. Its disguise kit is well kept and fully stocked, driven by many different hosts, from elephants to cats, worms and germs going to war, weapons cocked, bursting forth from doorknobs and rusty nails, claiming hold of our bodies and minds, turning some into literal jails, burrowing deep, hoping the doctor never finds a cure, a fix, or a temporary reprieve. Even without success, you're still paying a bill. For the worst of all isn't a disease that won't leave. It's one that gifts you death without a kill. I mistyped. Legal rights. You need to get your art solidified. Oh, as far as copyrighted, you mean? Like for my writing? Because I have my written work, like my published book is copywritten. I have it copyrighted, and when I put this into a publication, how in the hell did you talk with us this whole time and write that? I don't know. I wrote 4 or 5 lines, and then I stopped and had a conversation, and while I'm talking, I'm glancing down. What's the tattoo? So this is another symbol from a card game, Magic the Gathering, that I play. It is supposed to be a spider, but it is the symbol for a house in the game called House Dimir. And they are informants, intelligence gatherers, espionage agents. They trade in brokerage and information, that kind of stuff. I take it that I did justice to toxoplasmosis then from the responses there. That's cool. In the time that we've been chatting, have any other prompts made their way into fruition? I scrolled up a little bit, but I didn't see any new ones. So let me go back to my list and see what I've got here. We did brain parasite. I have Phyrexian infection infiltration. That's the magic themed one. It's kind of a similar theme. I have some magic cards, but I've not really played since high school. Well, if your magic cards that you have are from when you were in high school, they are a commodity, and sort them. Use the internet, see what you have. Old collections are one of my favorite things to to go hunting for. Oh no, you weren't the only prompt druid. I was working on one when you popped into chat. I did confidence for LDQA, and then I did one from an anonymous prompt that showed up in my comments that requested to be not named. That was the heart-stopping moment. Oh, I could read a couple. I could read the two that I wrote on the plane ride. I wrote 2 poems on the way down here. Let's see. Yeah, back to Irene. Old Magic cards are cool. I flew to Seattle today to play in a Magic tournament tomorrow that is built around cards from 4th edition to the set is like Scourge. It's like the year 2002, 2003, like so cards from 1997 to 2003, like in that range. And super awesome. Like old Magic cards are my favorite. Okay, so this comment, I collect Legos, is very funny because one of my prompt poems that I did is Legos. And then LDQA says, cool, please do, to read the poems that I wrote on the plane ride. Yeah, the art is very good. The card shop / comic shop used to host tournaments. That's, yeah. My local game store still does occasionally, but the scene has basically died for the formats that I like to play. You can still go for like Friday Night Magic and stuff, but that's about it. Okay, so this is the first one that I wrote on the plane ride today. It's called Plane Ride. That's my prompt. It was just very baseline. On wings of steel in a seat just a tad too small, the beginning of a dream turns real. Above the clouds, ambitions rising tall. These transitional moments, loading bars across the skies. When my feet touch down again, life will start anew before my eyes. Kindled is the adventurous hope within. For now, within this loading bar is more like purgatory, anticipation building at 300 miles per hour, yet still waiting for the next chapter of my story. Changing the scenery, now that's a life-changing power. Yeah, that one is a little bit wordy in the end. I would probably shorten that one up. What's this? Really? I don't know what that means. Oh, that's... Why were you fizzy? You're not supposed to be fizzy. Okay, well, I'm gonna try it. Ugh. Okay, I suppose it's water. Yuck. They just get better, huh? This one was unprompted and off stream, so I wrote that one. It was not a quick thing where I wasn't chatting. I had my headphones in and I was trying to zone out. No. Oh, man. That's true, yeah. Because it's been out of the fridge for a while. I got it out of the vending machine. It was very cold. It's been sitting here behind the camera for a while. I always get nervous around Dasani. I don't usually buy it, but it was the only water choice in the vending machine at the hotel. Oh, and it's not good, but it's wet. Okay. The second one that I wrote on the plane ride down here was, my prompt is gravity / sinking feeling. The plane did one of the turbulence things where it goes down abruptly. And you know how, I don't know if you've ever ridden on the fair ride the Gravitron, but you can feel like your insides kind of lurch down. I do. I always get nervous around Dasani. It's the water that my mom drank the whole time I was growing up, basically, and it always tasted different. Every bottle of water tastes different, and I don't know. It's weird. But anyway, the gravity and sinking feeling of that lurch in my plane seat was what I wrote down on the top of the page. And I didn't start writing right away. I had time to sit and think. And that's where I ended. Oh, that's fine, Drew. Do nothing to apologize. Yeah, exactly. Like driving on a hilly road. That works too. That same feeling. Yeah, I remember the weight of reality, the sensations of lungs resting atop my stomach, that hopelessness latched on and... Okay, I can't read my own handwriting. I have this thing marked for not kids, so just keep that in mind as we go. I remember the weight of reality, the sensations of lungs resting atop my stomach, that hopelessness latched on and fucking rooted me. Like my coffee was a mortar and I just swallowed a brick. When life tries to put you in shoes of cement, fight with everything you have inside. Whatever it takes, abstinence, therapy, or choosing to repent, raise your head up above that rising tide. Just like you learned to walk by falling, you will learn the marvel of your own tenacity. To let go of the lows you've picked up trawling, and just like every other decision, you control your own gravity. Tried to turn it around and make it a little more uplifting because it was starting off in a pretty low spot. Gravity. I think they did one of those acid alkaline tests on different bottled waters and tap waters. I forget where Dasani ranked. I think I've seen that video. I've seen a video of that. I don't know if it's the one that you're talking about, but I have seen one of those comparisons where I think they had somebody taste testing them and they couldn't tell which was which, except for Dasani and Arrowhead. They knew what those ones were right away. We've been pumping right along. Let's see. Oh, Solus's Druid's comment earlier about Legos. I actually have a Legos prompt poem here that's not finished, and I got stuck. And I think this is where I ended the stream last time. I forgot to go back and finish it, but I'll read the partial of it anyway. If the world worked like Legos, what would you build first? Would you pull pieces off and start letting go? Or would you relish in the creative nature before us? Would we toil away working for bricks? Could we just pick them up for our own? Would all the pieces be part of a mix? Could we just pop a new one in if we broke a bone? I only have 2 stanzas done for that one, and then stream was wrapping up. That's true, yeah. Gravity is definitely a low and heavy concept when you're up that high, for sure. Let's see. Oof. Put a lot of poetry in this notebook in the last couple of streams. All right, we're on to a blank page. And I have not seen a prompt pop up in chat, so I will do the next best thing and grab the room service menu. is no back page. Okay, well, I guess we'll just use room service. And we will credit this one to the menu in my room. We're starting this one. Wow, we've been live for an hour and a half. Holy cow. 1:05:45. My first plane ride, I watched the pilot to Lost. I have never seen that show. It was very popular when I was younger, and it was a lot of what my friends were watching and talking about, but it's not a show. I've never seen a single episode of Lost. I got to season 6 and then tapped. How many seasons are there? There's a lot, if I remember correctly. There's like 10? 11? I never watched, but I lost track. It's like Smallville. Smallville has so many seasons. I have seen every one of those, though. But only because I made the mistake of getting my dad into Smallville, and every time I would visit him, there'd be another season on the movie shelf. So I ended up watching all of it while I was visiting him as a kid. Might be like 11. I did watch all of The Walking Dead. That's one that I haven't seen all of either. I made it through not even through the whole of season 1 of Walking Dead. And I like zombie shows, but I never made it past season 1. I am back. Can't sleep. Welcome back, DJ. Good to see you. Good to see you. Can't sleep. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but thank you for spending your waking hours with me. I appreciate you. Soulless Druid, sorry I walked away. Welcome back. No worries, nothing to apologize for. A lot of people dipped out in The Walking Dead, so it is okay. I wish that I had a cool reason for dipping out. I just didn't have TV. And by the time I got back to where I had TV, I forget, we were in like the middle of the 3rd or 4th season. I don't remember, but it was still in a state where you had to wait for the next episode to come out, and it was hard for me. So I just didn't waste my time. Like Game of Thrones, I didn't watch a single episode of Game of Thrones until it was out on box set, and I could get the whole thing and sit down and watch it beginning to end. I just watched that last year for the first time, because in waiting for it to come out and be fully released, I saw online like everyone hated the ending. Not everyone, but the majority of the world hated the ending of it. So it's like, well, okay, I won't waste my time if the ending is bad. Waiting on The Boys. I haven't watched The Boys either. I grew up without TV. I had a lot of VHS. My dad was a Western, and we had a lot of Disney movies like VHS tapes, but I didn't have access to like cable or it was satellite at that time. TV until I was 17, 16, 17. Um, by the time I was 18, 19, I didn't have it either. I lived in a situation where I didn't have stable power or internet or TV. Dexter's a good show. I have seen that one all the way through. That's one of my dad likes that one too. That's why you're smart. Grew up no TV. I read a lot of books as a kid, but it was it was the thing to do. I read a lot as a child as well. My dog's still eating the buffalo bone. That thing's gotta be huge. You said you got a Frenchie? I'm picturing one of the big like bison femurs with the big smoked bones. Unless that's not, might have the wrong image in my head. That's totally fair. I read a lot as a child, not necessarily kid stuff. Stephen King and trashy romance. Yeah, I remember reading the what is the series? Children of the Earth. Clan of the Cave Bear is the name of the first book. I remember reading that as a wee teenager, and it's like, oh, it's a really cool book about prehistoric peoples, and it's softcore porn themed in the prehistoric time era. And going back and looking at it as an adult is like, oh, this is. I probably wouldn't want to read that now. Venezuela Trucking. Hey, good to see you. I like being able to recognize the names from the comments. Welcome, welcome. Little Bone can't explain, big for him. Makes sense. Okay. Stephen King, John D. McDonald, J. Chance, and McCaffrey. Dragons of Pern series. Very cool. I recognize two of those names. Stephen King and J. Chance. A few of you mentioned that you had popped back in, so I don't know if you were on when I was doing my prompt look around. I didn't see any prompts pop up in chat, so I grabbed the room service menu from the hotel, and I'm using the word room service for a prompt for this one. John is very old. That I am. I know you're not talking about me, but it applies. Tupac was a good poet. Have you read Rose That Grow Through Concrete? So, funny story, when I was in high school, my literature teacher, my sophomore and junior English teacher, had Tupac's book of poetry in the classroom, and it was one of the things that she used for teaching and examining hip-hop lyrics and the way that those words are written in mathematical proportions. When you're writing words to the number of bars and the number of beats, it actually makes this very clearly identifiable system, so anybody can write that same style, even if you're just counting syllables. And not everybody can make the words go together that same way or perform them that way, but when you're actually just putting the words to paper, it's very cool to be able to see there's a lot of thought that goes into it. It's not just random scribbles. Like, it's an art. It's very, very cool. Prompt: floating, ghosts, astral projection. Okay, I'm going to add that to the list. We've got floating, ghosts, and astral projection. Okay, I have a clarifying request, Irene. Astral projection. Are you trying to tie these three things with the etc. into one poem, or are these separate prompts? And astral projection, I know from D&D. Not sure if it applies the same in the real world. It's impressive how you were able to make good prompts out of random things around you. I'm definitely not creative enough for that. Oh, Speedy Boy, it's not that you're not creative enough, my friend. I bet that you would be very good at it if you allowed yourself to do it. I was very shitty at it for a long time. Like, word vomit used to be a thing that I would have to do to break through writer's block until oh, spoiler, if you're in chat right now, I'm working on a video for how I get through writer's block when I'm experiencing it. And the system that I've kind of come up with that I use myself works very well for me. But if you're on my Ko-Fi page, you've already seen the little form that I've released probably last month before last, that kind of outlines the method, but I'm making a video that goes into detail and it kind of explains and walks through the process. But it's not just a thing that happens. You have to allow yourself to be bad at something before you can be good at it. Correction: Dragon Riders of Pern series. Excellent series if you like fantasy. Dragon Riders of Pern. I will write that down, because I do, in fact, like fantasy. I'm reading a book right now called The Black Tongue Thief. That is a fantasy story. His music theory was good, yeah. Yeah, it's coming up on 8:30. All right, we've got a double for astral projection. I've got that one written down. All right, so when I finish the room service poem, we will go to floating, ghosts, astral projection. Okay. I will not be streaming tomorrow, DJ. I will be streaming next Monday. Will be my next one at 9 p.m. EST. Oh, cool. Awesome. I'll watch for you in chat. I write angry metal music most days for no good reasons. Your poetry has me locked onto less of the darkness. I like that. Less of the darkness. I like that expression. It's not quite the brightness. It's not quite the other side. It's just less darkness. Cool. I will watch my email. Appreciate it, DJ. Have a good night. I hope that you get some sleep. Less is always better. When it comes to darkness, that's very true. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Okay, the ending of this one is a little bit chunky, but hey, sweetie boy, I'm still taking prompts. I'll always take prompts. I've got I've got one in right now that is kind of a tie-up. Floating ghost astral projection is kind of an all-inclusive, but yeah, I've got that prompt and then one more, and I'm going to be streaming for probably another hour. So yeah, I've got time for another prompt if you've got one for me to add to the list. Let's go 125, 11. This one comes to us from the courtesy of the room service menu. The prompt is room service. Success has never tasted so succulent as when delivered directly to my door. I care not for the excess dollars spent, only that my bed is on the top floor. Ringing the bell, excuse me, I'd like a refill. Yes, yes, I'll slip a tip under the plate. Just keep bringing me food until the chef himself develops a hate for seeing my room number atop the ticket. I can afford the treatment, so I will have it. I'll take the receipt, and to my door I shall stick it, a poster of my success, wasted on all this ordered shit. Yeah, the ending gets a little chunky, but that's okay. I like the way it came together. How people easily allow their opinions to be changed by what others say. Okay. How people allow their opinions to be changed. People allowing opinions to be changed by others' words. People allowing their opinions to be changed by others' words. Easily swayed. I do enjoy when conversations can result in a change of opinion. When two people have a conversation with that as an option, rather than two people that are wholeheartedly committed to misunderstanding the other person's point of view, or only wants to talk about their point of view and doesn't really care, but they wait for you to finish talking just so they can chime in with what they're going to say again. I enjoy when a change of opinion is there. I'm more than willing to have a conversation with somebody, and I'd like to think that I have an open mind when it comes to most things. And other than personal experience, I'm not a professional, and I don't have a license or reason to have a factual opinion on anything. So, and I wish that more people would approach conversations that way, especially with things that they don't really know about. And it's easy to feel embarrassed, especially with the internet and like social media. Social media makes those interactions so hard because text does not translate tone very well. And seeing somebody say, "You're wrong, this is why," is very cut and dry. Whereas a conversation, you wouldn't necessarily talk to somebody that way if your goal was to be educational and not belittling. Sorry, my headphones crashed. I need to charge them. I basically live in them. I feel that I charged my earbuds before I got on the plane today, and I was very thankful that they are fully charged. Yeah, no, that's my experience as well, sweetie boys. It is rare to have that interaction, even in real world conversations with people. I have not had that reaction very often. Okay, we're on to floating, ghosts, and astral projection. Oh, let's see. Floating, ghosts, and astral projection. This one comes to us, Irene. Just being kind is hard to do when you're not face to face. Yeah, and I think even if you, with text-based communication specifically, it's hard to get that across. Even if you're trying to be kind and you're meaning to say things in this polite manner and tone, text doesn't display that. It doesn't translate. So even if you mean it in that way, if somebody misinterprets it and then they respond defensively, I've done that in my YouTube comments. I've not understood what somebody said, and I think I do because of it being the internet, and I have a baseline expectation for the average person that I meet on the internet. If they're going to comment in such a way where it's not clear to me, I would get defensive, especially when people are being shitty. Even if they're not meaning to. But I try to approach even the trolls on my comment page. I would usually approach them with kindness. I'm like, hey, I'll usually check, see if it's their first comment. Say, hey, I see this is your first comment. If you don't like my stuff, it's probably not the channel for you, and that's okay. Like if you don't want to be supportive and you want to be reductive, please refrain from commenting. Like if you comment again in a reductive way, I'm just going to remove you from the channel. And I don't have any examples offhand, but they are out there on my channel if you ever want to go through and look at that kind of stuff. Like I mean it. Like I do approach these people and I do that. I practice it myself. And I think that everyone would be better off if we did that with somebody, give everybody at least one chance to be like, hey, did you really mean to say that? Because this is how I interpreted what you just said. If that's not what you meant, I'm glad that we're having this conversation now. Like, let's figure out where the miscommunication happened. But, oh, gotcha, yeah. That's like me with my Fallout hat. I wear my Fallout hat around the house, Arian. Like, it's just it's like a safety blanket kind of deal. Text misses a lot of the advantages of face-to-face conversations. Body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice. It's very easy to misinterpret things online. Yeah, absolutely agree. Okay, floating ghosts and astral projection. This one might end up being a little longer. Let's call it 133. Wow, been live for over 2 hours. This is crazy, very cool. That's awesome. Lord of the Rings weighted blanket. Seriously, you need to seal these poems as lyrics or songs. When they get copyrighted, they'll be copyrighted as written works by me with the rights reserved. But also with until then, if anybody wants to take the stuff from the live stream and like try to publish it to make money on, I have the evidence, video evidence of it being created by me. I've had to do that one time with my written work where somebody was posting my written work as their own and like trying to make it monetized. And it's like, hey, like, stop, please. Like, I can very easily prove that this is my work. And it's a big headache, but people suck. It happens, it happens. We will usually. I'm learning this nightmare. Oh, I'm sorry. If you're going through that, Soulless Druid, it's such a headache. It's a big pain in the ass. I was fortunate enough that it wasn't somebody digital. It was somebody in the real world that was taking my work and trying to do stuff with it. That I was able to meet this person and had an interaction with them that was like nothing was lost in translation. There was no text. It was all face to face, like we were just talking about. I think that if somebody wanted to repost my stuff in a different language and still have me be credited, that's fine with me. I think that would be awesome. That's one of my barriers is I don't speak or write any other languages. It really limits the audience of people that can interpret my work. That's funny. I wrote one time in high school we had a assignment for English class to write a poem, and I ended up writing like 9 of my classmates' poems for that assignment. Because even in high school, I would do this kind of crap. I would be sitting in the library for like my off period and just be writing. And I would do prompt writing. It's just like this, not just like this, but a lot crappier and on the school computer or on my notebook. And after that assignment was announced, there was a queue around the table where I was sitting of people asking me to write their poems for them. It was very funny. Secure to PA rights or essay rights. That's it. You get paid. Libraries are very underrated for sure, Speedy Boy. I agree with that. I haven't been to the public library in so long, since I got a smartphone, basically. I used to go after school or in school to the school library to use the internet because we didn't have decent internet at home, so looking things up was pretty slow. It was like dial-up. So using those resources was always very beneficial. But that hasn't been the case in quite some time for me. Even as an adult, I love wandering around a bookstore. Me too. I go to Barnes and Noble a lot by myself and with my partner and just kind of wander. We usually go there for one thing and end up spending an hour or more just in the bookstore. I remember when I was doing prep for my poetry publication, I just was at the poetry shelf, just looking at all of the books and trying to compare and taking notes and realizing what I didn't want my book to look like, what I didn't want it to be, different textures and styles and writing styles and word counts. And it's like you can lose so much time just in a bookstore and spend $0. Hypothetical would you rather question for everyone. Would you rather study at a cafe with calming music and free coffee, but other people are there, or a completely silent library with no free coffee? Hmm. Me personally, I would take the cafe because I enjoy the ambient noise of the world when I'm working or studying. Dual audio is a thing that I find very soothing. It calms my brain and helps me focus. As long as it's not super loud, but if it like a cafe background with like music playing would be ideal for me. And the free coffee is kind of take or leave. It would depend on the coffee. If it was free and good, sure, that's a plus. If it's free and bad, I'll still go to the cafe, but I just wouldn't drink the coffee. Growing up in my time, you didn't need the internet. We had the outdoors. Yeah, I did. I didn't have the internet until I was nearly done with high school at home, and we had dial-up for the majority of that life. But we got decent internet my last 2 years in school, and it's when I got an Xbox and started playing games. And like I played video games a little bit as a kid, just not on the internet, but spent a lot of time outside. I went deaf and now have hearing aids. Anyone making noise is aggressive to me now. Like you get aggressive towards them if they're making too much noise, Solus? Is that aggressive? Am I understanding that correctly? Oh yeah. I bet if you weren't able to turn it off, that would be pretty bad. I'm hard of hearing in my one ear, and my dad is completely deaf in the one side. And when we ride in the truck together, he's on the side that I can't hear very well out of, and then he can't hear on the side that's facing me. So we drive in silence a lot of the time, or we both turn and I have to basically yell for him to hear me because he's hard of hearing in the one side and completely deaf on the other side. Unsolicited noises volumes. Once I unplug, it's screaming. Oh, when your hearing aids are off is when you have the tinnitus, the ringing. With the hearing aids in, you don't have that ringing going on. Uh-oh. Oh, 1 second. I knocked my plug out. There we go. Oh, what the hell? Jeez. That outlet leaves a little bit to be desired. That sounds pretty miserable, Solus. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm glad that the aids help though. But yeah, I get why you'd be aggressive towards people if you couldn't shut them off and shut it off. I get really sensitive to stimulation, noises, brightness, touch, even just sometimes. Just sometimes it can become overwhelming. I have days like that too. Me and my partner both have days of like overstimulation. Get off work, say do the how was your day kind of stuff, and then have the hey, I do not want to socialize, do not interact. I'm gonna go turn the lights off and go to the bedroom and just be by myself, or I'll go to my office with the lights off and just hang out in there and write. But yeah, overstimulation is a huge thing, and I think allowing yourself the wherewithal to be aware, shut off the stimulation, and do your best to decompress is super good to do. Yeah, absolutely. I think everybody probably has. I don't need to say probably. Everybody has days of that overstim. I have them myself. I know that. I relate, and some days are just too much. That's yeah, that's super hard when it's your hobby and it's something that you love and it's something that you're trying to facilitate, and it's like a double-edged knife. The harder you squeeze, the harder it hurts. That kind of sucks. I'm sorry that that's happening. Yeah. I know I'm not trying to take away from you being broken, Solus Druid, but I have a story that is similar about my dad. My dad is very mechanically minded. He likes to tinker on things. He likes to work on stuff he has his entire life. And he has a condition called Dupuytren's contracture, which is a shortening of your tendons and ligaments in your body. So as you get older, your hands will start to curl up as the ligaments and tendons in your hands start to twist and build up and calcify. So he can only open his fingers on this hand the pinky is crossed over, and these are curled into the palm of his hand like this. So this is as far as he can like open his one hand. And his left hand is just these two middle fingers are like out like that, and his pinky is locked straight like this, like a rock. So him trying to work on anything with his hands like this, he gets very frustrated, and he's not the best vocal teacher. He wants to show you how to do something. So learning and trying to be taught by a man that physically can't do the thing that he knows needs to happen and can't vocalize how to do it, he just wants to show you. I watched and have seen that interaction and how hard doing something you love and having it physically taken away from you. I've seen what that does to somebody, and I feel for you, man. Just hit it harder, man. What's the Psycho Stick drummer? They call him the boy, Alex. That's what that reminded me of. Animal from the Muppets. That's a good view. Okay, and that's time, 1:53:40. That's a 20-minute poem. We're going a little bit longer on this stream, but that's okay. We're getting some good chat in and hanging out. Suffered from tinnitus for years, my musical tones seem to change. The sound doesn't seem the same. Used to call that learning. Well, this is the Floating Ghosts and Astral Projection prompt from Irene. And astral projection was a second recommendation. Solus also chimed in a little bit later with that one. This is 20 minutes and 4 seconds. Do you find the cosmos comforting, the vastness of an empty void? Lose your way and you'll spend eternity floating, realizing this is an end we cannot avoid. Flashes of who we used to be, echoes of lives long since lived out, doomed to view the world but never truly see what we were truly living about. Now in the flesh, I am limited by the beats of my heart, a finite number like the mileage of cars. And when this flesh starts to fall apart, I'll look forward to my trip amongst the stars. Shush, he's talking now. I appreciate you guys. That's awesome. And that's another prompt crossed off. Floating Ghosts and Astral Projections, which takes us to Speedy Boys, people allowing their opinions to be changed by others' words or their opinions swayed. And this will be the last one of tonight, so we'll probably do another half hour or so, and then or whenever this poem is done, we'll do a wrap up and go from there, because it's getting late for me. I've got to get up kind of early. But let's see. Opinions swayed. I'll call this one Opinions Swayed. And this one is Speedy Boy. I appreciate your kindness. That's awesome. It helps having that kind of feedback. I appreciate you guys a lot. Yeah, it's yeah. I know the East Coast is coming up on tomorrow already. Well, happy day 137. I'll be making that video from the hotel room, so you'll probably see it in a few hours. I'll try to make this one a little quicker so when I'm not keeping everybody up late. It's already late, but you know what I mean. Oh, we started this one. We'll call it 157. The East Coast, East Coast viewers get the day 137 early access. Come tomorrow, but we are here now, and you as well. Sorry for caps. It's okay. Day 82. That's awesome. That's so cool. Congratulations. I know I said I was going to power through and finish this one quick, but I'm scrolling up to year 29. That's absolutely inspiring. LDQA, that's cool. I hope to be there someday. If things keep going the way they are, I will. But that's an encouraging thing. Thank you for that. No, help helps. That doesn't sound weird at all. I'm going to use this platform for inspo. That's good. Having any platform is better than having no platform. I also tried a lot to do it myself and go it alone. It's hard. Definitely is easier when you have people in your corner, even if it's a name on a screen and you only communicate every once in a while, it's somebody there. I'm fortunate enough to have a very supportive friend group that I get to meet with like once a week. So I have people in real life that have been very supportive, and since moving my sobriety journey into the public light, into the transparency phase of making sure I'm holding myself accountable. Even I say that I would post my good mornings even if nobody watched them, and I would, but it would be disingenuous of me to say that the people that comment are not encouraging. That it is a very helpful thing to know, like the comments are like, you've inspired me, you've helped me, or keep going on the days that are kind of hard and kind of shitty. Is like just seeing the consistency and being able to build that up because of this habit that I've set in place, and seeing the feedback that people give in real time is very helpful. Holding yourself accountable is extremely hard. I agree with you. I was on day 7 and at my lowest point of sobriety so far. And I started doing my good morning sobriety check-ins on day 8 as a push. Like, okay, I'm not just gonna make this about my own, like, I'm not gonna put this all on me. I'm gonna make a video, I'm gonna say good morning, I'm gonna share what I'm doing with the world. And if people care, they care. If people don't, they don't, whatever. But I've made a commitment to do this, and just that little push helped me hold myself accountable. It's pretty crazy. Just a little bit of encouragement will do. I appreciate all of you very much. And to Irene's comment, it's way too easy to feel alone, specifically for my channel content, the journey of sobriety. It's very easy to feel alone when you're battling with that with substance abuse or any kind of a mental health thing. And feeling alone is exactly what you don't want to be doing in those scenarios. And so it's so important. I can manage in a crowd. Is it needed though? Why am I here? So I think I understand your comment, but I would ask for a little bit of clarification, Druid. Is that, hey, Catopia, connecting can really help, yeah. If you're asking the why that I think you're asking, Soulless Druid, I struggle with that question a lot. I actually have written a poem titled Why, and it's on the channel as a video. And it's one that I struggle with a lot. Why am I here? I don't think there's an easy answer to that question. And I've asked myself most of my life. Okay, stop the clock. 169:26. 169. Okay, so this poem is 12 minutes of writing. It's for Speedy Boy. And this is the opinion swayed or having your opinion changed with someone else's words. This will be the last prompt of the night, and then we'll do wrap up, any other information that people want to ask, any questions of that nature. But I took a little bit of a liberty here and am using the phrase, the expression, the hill that I die on. Like, people get these opinions in their head and like, that's the hill that I'll die on. I will have that opinion no matter what information is presented. This is the hill where I will die. And I see that a lot online, and I've kind of used it as inspiration for this poem. It's where my brain went when I started thinking about the prompt. So without further ado, Opinion Swayed by Speedy Boy, 12 minutes of writing. You don't have to die on that hill. Won't you take the time to hear me out? I have given all the evidence, and still you're insisting I don't know what I'm talking about. What's this then? New information? While I thought I had it all figured out, you listened, you researched and tuned into a different station. While I thought myself bright, you glistened. Okay, I see the merit to your word. Apologies are due for the slights I have said. For I'd much rather come down to the valley and be heard than be alone on my hill, proven wrong and dead. I hope that I did that one justice, Speedy. Tried to get a little bit more focused writing into it, but we've had a very productive stream tonight. I've enjoyed this work a lot. And I've got one prompt left that I might start with on next stream, or maybe I'll do it off camera. Maybe I'll do it on the plane ride back. I appreciate you guys. But I'm going to try to do a little longer streams. I think that the 3-hour time slot is a decent amount of time to do this kind of stream. I would like to continue to do these prompt poem streams. I have a lot of fun with them, like I've said before. And if they appeal and they turn into a thing, I think it could be something to build the community up on, and it'd be kind of fun to do. But my next stream will be Monday at 9 o'clock EST, 9 p.m. EST. So kind of late again. It's when I get off work at 7:30 EST, and then I have to eat dinner and get ready to be in the camper. So that's about the earliest that I could get set up and be comfortable. But before I sign off, let me scroll up, make sure I'm not missing anything. I appreciate your kind words, sweetie boy. I'm normally located in Alaska. Right now I'm down in the States. I'm in Seattle at the moment. You better calm down, or I'm going to start televising the thing. Televising this? Okay, gotcha. Oh, no, nothing to apologize for, Catopia. It's not anything to be sorry about. I appreciate that you popped in at all. I'm happy to see people showing up and continuing to be here. It means a lot to me, and it's the things that'll keep me doing this. I appreciate it. So the next one will be 9 p.m. Monday, and I will see you all then. I hope you have a good rest of your night. If you have any questions or requests, you can reach me at my email or the Ko-Fi page that's linked on my YouTube channel. If you want to follow me on there, you can see some of the benefits that come with that. You get daily written updates and stuff for my life and what's going on, or you can, in the community page on my channel, there is the subscription link for my newsletter. If you want a once a month kind of update on my behind the scenes stuff, you get to meet all my dogs, you get to see what I've been cooking that month, like some weird meal, and a picture of me just being a goofball. The one that people have signed up for now for April is going to go out on the 28th. So you still have a couple of days if you want to sign up for that, and you'll see some of my April personal life, if that interests you. But if not, that's totally fine too. We're here to write poetry and promote sobriety. I hope that you all have a good night. We'll see you on Monday. Take care.